All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Ward Radio live stream. I am your host, Cardin Ellis, and today I am joined via Zoom by a killer cast here. We got Garett, Batty, and Jonah Barnes with us in the Ward Radio Wigwam. All you already know Jonah Barnes, the associate professor of all things apocryphal, but we got a new sheriff in town, a new filmmaking sheriff. He's in the T.C. Christensen hot seat. We've got Garett Batty here, who is the not the author, I'm sorry. I should have said the auteur. You know, that might have been a little bit, a lot more fancy. He is the director of this film here, Faith Like Angels, which is coming out. It's in a limited release in Utah right now. You can watch it at select theaters, but it's going to be hitting 100 screens here pretty soon this week? Tell us what's going on. Thousands?
No, we'll be on about 350 screens is what we're at now, and we're a week and a half out, so that number's going up.
All right.
Wow. Good for you, man.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. It's cool. It's taking off.
Okay, excellent. Well, I can see why it's taking off. I confess, I just got done watching the screener about 20 minutes ago, the full 90 minutes, and I got to tell you, it was a tearjerker. As a father, man, I can only imagine what somebody would go through if they were stuck in this scenario right here. We're actually going to be rolling a couple of scenes from the movie just in the background here, so you guys get a idea of kind of what's going on. It stars Kirby Hayborn, a fan favorite, shall we say, and a personal friend of mine. I'm a friend of the Kirby Hayborn. I think he's a great cat, and I'd watch anything he's in, right? But we're going to do like a little bit of a movie review. We're going to get to know Garett. We're going to talk about the film. We're going to encourage other people to get to know the film as well, and just kind of have a fun, casual live stream here, talking anything and everything Mormon movies. But first, I was going to say, before we do, though, do we have Ward News? Do we have Ward News, my man?
Ward business.
That's what I mean. Ward business.
We have some Ward business to take care of.
All right. Hit it, man. Hit it.
We have just received the records for a brother Carl Corper.
Oh.
Corper. Carl, I hope I said that right. Brother Carl, all those who would like to welcome Brother Carl into the Ward Radio worship, please do so by putting a W in the chat, as well as a brother Paul Passerby has now subscribed to the Telestial Ticket. There's a kingdom for everybody. There's a kingdom for everybody here in the worship. And oh boy, it's coming fast. Melshma E, a brother or sister, Melshma E. We don't know. We don't care. We're just glad you're here. Put a W in the chat for these three new members, 3 W's. And also we have a super chat from Jackson Pettit, who says, I want to see Matt Walsh and the Daily Wire's new movies, Am I Racist? And he went to see them, and he met a fellow Ward Radio member wearing the Ward Radio t-shirt.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Yes, I love it. Let's get some of those t-shirts in to see this next film. Also, super chat from Joe Riv. He says, Charlie Kirk fails to debate an atheist that an LDS wouldn't have an issue. Charlie Kirk versus 25 woke students. Atheist says God uses preferred pronouns.
Yeah, baby.
Oh my gosh.
My favorite preferred pronouns, just so you know, are on Lego Joseph Smith's Twitter account, and he says he, him, as in he/HYMN, and I fully endorse the he, him pronouns. I think that's the best way of getting that out there. Jackson Pettit, thank you so much. Joe Riv, thank you. You are indeed correct. Doctrine of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints uniquely answers the problem of evil, which is one of the biggest things the atheists come after general Christians about. We've done a lot of content and philosophy on that on this channel, and keep it coming. Thank you for your commentary. In fact, who knows? This might actually have something to do with the movie here, because it's a movie about overcoming suffering. Did God institute these trials for our learning knowingly, or were these trials coming no matter what? It is one of the deepest and most profound questions that humanity has ever asked itself, and it's part of the interesting, unique cosmology of Joseph Smith. Yeah, it's pretty sick. So, are you ready for what you got into, Garett?
I didn't realize we were going to get this deep this early. This is great.
Yeah, remember when I said it's going to be different than any other interview and you'll probably come away exhausted?
I love it.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. So anyway, without any further ado, guys, if you have any questions for Garett, any questions for us, any questions for Jonah Barnes, the Associate Professor of All Things Apocryphal and the author of the recent book, Key to the Keystone, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you guys send them to us via Super Chat as long as they're appropriate and germane. We will do our best to read them. But before we go any farther, Garett, the floor is yours, man. I want you to introduce yourself to our audience. I want you to tell us a little bit about this movie, what inspired you to make it, what is your process, and so on and so forth. Then we are going to mercilessly mock it. And no, I'm just kidding. Then we are going to give it an awesome review, tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly. And then we will... we'll just let it devolve into a general criticism of poor Christian cringe cinema and just mock everybody else who doesn't do this as well as we do. So that's at least where I see this going. Okay,
it sounds like a regular Thursday night for me.
Yeah, dude,
Like
for real.
a regular Thursday night.
Awesome. So do we want to start out? You can choose, Garett. Do you want to start out with Jonah Barnes' review of your film? Or would you like to give us the backstory first? What should we do?
Let me just give an overview of what it is so that
Excellent.
your review, people, makes sense. But yes, Faith of Angels, not like angels. We're not at that age, right, where we're mispronouncing movie names already?
We mispronounce everything else. Like I was calling you Batty, Garett Batty for like the first week. I was pretty sure that you were a relative of somebody super famous. So
yes,
he could be. He could still be.
He could be. Tyler Batty, BYU football, Tyler Batty.
There you go.
Okay, Faith of Angels is it's a true story, based on a true story about a boy that set in 1989. Joshua Dennis goes missing in an abandoned mine, and there's this community of this outpouring of willingness to help try to find him. Obviously, the conditions are treacherous in the mine. They're not letting just anybody up there, but that doesn't stop people from feeling like they should be up there helping, including one John Skinner, who's not even connected to the story, not even connected to the family of the boy that's missing, but he is literally, receives these promptings, this guidance, this angelic voice, kind of Field of Dreams style, and cannot get rid of it. And he feels like he's the one that's supposed to find this kid. No qualifications, it's not like he's physically more capable than anybody, but he's just feels like he's supposed to find this kid. So the story is that missing boy, John Skinner feels like he's supposed to find him, and the obstacles that happen that result in, essentially this, the result is when President George H.W. Bush at the time calls how this story turns out is evidence that miracles still happen. So it's one of these like super duper inspiring kind of faith promoting, but you can't believe all of the events that took place in order for it to happen.
Oh man. I love like the end of the movie. I've actually been flashing a couple of these scenes up here where you've got the, I believe it's original footage from the 80s of these workers that ended up finding this guy in the mine for, what was it, 5 days?
5 days, Joshua Dennis is without food, without water, without light. Literally, you cannot see anything in the mine. And here's this 11-year-old kid that's just trapped, has no idea where he is or if anybody's even coming for him.
Wow.
And we got the news footage, the actual news footage at the end of the mine, or at the end of the movie, that just says, just shows what an event it actually was.
Yeah, this was incredible. I absolutely loved it. And frankly, it surpassed my expectations. I'll admit, I'm a cynic when it comes to Christian and Mormon cinema.
Yes,
I'm an absolute cynic. We can all just be honest and get the elephant out of the room. That 9 out of 10 of these movies suck. And I was thinking, all right, okay, so I'm gonna have to go watch this because Kirby's in it. And because Kurt Frankham asked me to help promote it, and then I'll buy the DVD so it's not an absolute financial failure, but then I will never watch it again unless I am desperate for a young man's activity 10 years from now, and they've already forgotten and haven't seen it, right? So I'll be honest, like I'm just being honest, right?
You're real, yes.
Yeah, and I was very pleasantly surprised on many fronts. So before we go back to asking you more about the story and how you came across it, Jonah, dude, you wrote a hilarious review, man. Why don't you just tell us what you thought so our audience knows when they go see it what to expect? Because I think this is worth paying the money to go see in a theater. I think it's totally worth it, man.
Look, anybody who's paying for a Disney Plus subscribership who doesn't go see this movie should be freaking ashamed of yourself, okay? Because this is like 1 month of your Disney Plus kitschy garbage to go see a real work of art. I mean, real artists put this together and made a very good movie. This is a solid movie. So I started watching this and I thought, okay, how much of this am I going to be able to get through? And I got sucked in real quick. Yeah. This hits so different when you're a parent. Like, geez, Kirby Hayborn. Look, Kirby Hayborn was fantastic in this. I don't know Kirby Hayborn. I don't get paid to talk about Kirby Hayborn. Kirby Hayborn's acting was like, oh boy, okay, let's pause and fan, because it's heart-wrenching. It's a true story, right? I mean, it's making a true story into a movie, I think, is infinitely harder than than just getting to do whatever you want, as evidenced by the garbage that Disney Plus turns out. But, you know, this is a real true story, a real kid who really did get lost for 5 days. You're dead. 5 days, you're dead at 5 days with no water, no food. He can't call out anymore. I mean, this is a complete miracle, and it really happened, and these are real people with real emotions. The acting sold it. Usually these Christian movies have this acting that's just like, oh my gosh, like they're not crying. There's no tears, but they're like, oh, I'm so sad. And you're you know what I mean? Like they just do the squinchy face. You know, they're like, I'm really sad. Trust me, I'm so sad. But like Kirby Hayborn is kind of like it's an onion chopper to watch him weep over his son. And I have sons right at that age, and it's very emotional, but it's not a scary movie. You can take all your kids to see it. It's not a scary movie. It's not too heavy. There's actually well, I don't know how deep we want to go right now, but like
keep going.
Right from the very beginning, there's this metaphor of being lost in the dark and light and finding your way in the world. There's this metaphor and it's not heavy. It's not heavy. It's not overdone. It's just kind of the subtle subtext of the film. And then when the boy is lost in the mine, it's real. This is really happening, and people are going through real emotions, and it really drives it home. It's really pretty.
Oh, do we just lose you for a second there, Jonah?
I think we lost him for a second.
I don't know if I give away the ending or whatever, but then you play the newsreel at the end. And you see the actual footage of it, and I thought it was very well done. The acting, solid. Kirby Hayborn's acting is way more than solid. It's fantastic. His acting is excellent. The writing was great. It wasn't cheesy. It was serious and spiritual, but it wasn't cheesy. It got right up to the line, but it didn't cross the line. And you know, the lighting wasn't, you know, the goofy lighting that they overdo the lighting. Yeah. You know, these movies these days, like the Christian films that kind of overdo the lighting, right? Yeah. Those bugs the crap out of me. They didn't overdo the lighting.
Yeah.
Music was solid. I mean, it was a good film.
It was well wrought. Yeah, awesome. So how did you come across this story? Yeah. The wait till you see the written one where I include all of I include all the negative. No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally just kidding. But so tell us, how did you come across the story? How did this film come to be? What's the origin story? Do we have any super chats to catch up on, Jonah, before we ask that question, or are we?
Yes, we do. We have super chat from Melishma, who just joined the Celestial Kingdom. Melishma E says, thank you so much for all you do. Your debunking videos had a huge hand in my return to the church. My husband and I appreciate you greatly.
Get out of town. Who is this?
This is Melishma E.
Melishma E?
E stands for excellent, I think. Melishma E, my husband and I appreciate you greatly. It's not our church. It's not our church. We're so glad. I mean, it is our church, but like, you return to your church. We're so glad. That's marvelous to hear. It's the kingdom of God on earth. We're so glad to have you
So
back.
you know what, Melshma E, I would love to hear your story and know kind of like what happened, because that's happening a lot now. Now that the channel's 3 years old, we started this channel to combat a lot of the anti-Mormon lies that were being said by very cynical, bad actors in the bloggernacle, and also just ignorance from the public at large. And we were kind of the lone screaming voices in the desert. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But now there's all these other channels that have been birthed. There's all this other activity that's going on. And it was a really long, hard road those first couple of years there, because it's like you're working without, and also being isolated here in Los Angeles, and you also up in Washington, we're not in the middle of the thick of it. So we don't know if like we're actually making a difference unless people actually kindly go out of their way to let us know that they are. So we really, really appreciate your commentary, and we'd like to know your journey. We'd like to know your story. Like, what helped? Because it's the oddest things, by the way. Sometimes I'll put a video together where I'm like, dude, we just smashed that argument to pieces. 2,000 views. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I know. And then you do another one.
And we do some other stupid video. It's like, yeah, this argument's really stupid and I could debunk it in 30 seconds and you're a bonehead if you believe it. And then it's like 40,000 views and people like thanking me. And I'm like, wait, what the heck? Like, what is the Matrix? I do not see the Matrix.
Now, this is nothing that I'm sure Garett, an actual filmmaker, has no idea what we're talking about, right? I'm sure you have no idea what it's like to be a lone voice in the wilderness trying to...
trying to find people to view your content. No, that's foreign to me.
Totally foreign.
Yeah, dude, for real. So hit us these last couple of super chats, and then we're going to ask Garett how he got to making this film, man. What his story is, the whole 9 yards. Hit it up.
Next super chat, Stephen Diamond says, I think it's Pennsylvania, PA, used to be a mining country until the 1960s. When you come out of the Priesthood Restoration site, we can take you to the site of the big disaster. If you've ever been in one of these big mines, it is really remarkable.
It's terrifying.
And they do a great job in the film of drawing you into this. You feel this descent into the mine, and that it's really this maze, and it's impossible to find, and the hopelessness. It really communicates the hopelessness of the situation really well. It's really well done. Anyways, I'm saying this to the director. I don't know why I'm saying this to the director. We have the director here. We don't need to listen to my review of the movie.
I love it. No, it's what I've been telling everybody for weeks, and now to hear it from somebody else is refreshing.
Okay, now before we ask you the origin story of this, I just have to know, was that a fake mine, or did you actually go inside of the mine? Was that a set that you built for safety because you had a beta safety coordinator, or was this like a fake? Was this the real deal, and you guys are all a bunch of hardcore spelunkers? Which one, dog?
Yes, all of the above. It was a hybrid. So we had a tunnel that was about 50 feet long and 8 feet wide, and it was open at both ends. And then our production designer, Key Miller, built these sectionals on each end of the tunnel that looked like the room that the kid was in, or a split way that people could walk around in. So we shot this whole movie in about 50 feet of tunnel.
Dude.
Jeez, wow. And it feels the shots. I mean, these shots are on location. They're up in the mountains.
Yeah.
It's at the very beginning. They're up in the mountain. It's beautiful. It shows the guy out camping, and it shows the kids out camping and stuff, and really draws you into the scenery. It doesn't look cheap. It really doesn't look cheap. So whatever dollars you were leveraging, you did a good job.
Well, yeah, no, and I got to give credit to Ryan Little, who's our DP. I mean, Ryan's he's a superhero in LDS film, and directed Saints and Soldiers, and has done. Has shot a number of different movies, and is a dear friend of mine. And I was so grateful that he came in and said, "Look," I said, "Ryan, we have to figure out how to light a mine. It's pitch black in there. What can we do?" And Ryan just took it and ran with it and made it look incredible.
All right. Sick, dude. Good job, Ryan. So now hit me, bro. This was a tearjerker. What's the story behind it? Was this your grandpa, and it's a family legend that's existed for 30, years in your family? Did you just stumble upon this in Barnes & Noble after you had your coffee and double cream espresso? Or what's the story, man?
Joshua Dennis is the boy that was lost in the mine. It's no spoiler that Josh is rescued at the end of it. 5 days. He's now our age. He's mid 40s and lives in Taylorsville, doing great. He's a stake president out there. And his wife reached out to me and said, hey, there's a story that might be interesting to you. It's super inspiring. And she met, I went over and visited with them. I get that a lot. I get a lot of people that say, hey, I got a story. And as you guys can imagine, my job is maybe to determine whether it's a story that should be a movie or a story that should be a family dinner. Tell it at the family reunion story.
Oh, brutal.
And
wait. Before you go, what's that criteria, dog?
What's that? The family dinner story?
Yeah, like how do you let somebody down softly, bro? What do you say?
No, it's too good. It's just too good to be a movie. That one's too personal.
It's not
money.
you, it's me. It's not you, it's me.
I couldn't ever hire the actors that need to portray that story.
Savage.
Now you know when Garett says that to you.
If I say
really
that,
saying,
dude,
really friend zoning your
I gotta
story.
come up with a new excuse now. No,
Okay, keep going, man.
I'm super grateful that people would even take the time to trust me to even share their story with me. And every story deserves to be told. What caught my attention on this one is sitting there talking with Josh. He says, I was lost in the mine for 5 days. And he went through everything that he experienced. And at the end, he says, I wasn't scared, just like in the movie, he says, I wasn't scared because there were angels with me.
Yeah.
And I went, wait a second. That's not something you see in the news report. Nobody's talking about that today. Like right now, if you said, hey, there's angels with me, you'd be either mocked or kind of ridiculed, or people are kind of very, very skeptical. But in 1989, here's this 10-year-old kid, 11-year-old kid that said, it felt like I was gone for a day and a half, and I wasn't scared at all because there were angels with me. Fast forward another couple of weeks, and I'm sitting across John Skinner, who's another key player. He's the man that eventually was determined to get in the mine. And he says, "Hey, I'm in the middle of Montana, and there's this prompting that I could not ignore to drive to Utah." And I'm going, they don't know this. Like, we got to connect the dots here.
So you unearthed this.
Every other person that I spoke with, I mean, certainly John and Josh have spoken to each other. But to go like, okay, at the time, it's fascinating that these characters don't know that each other are having these sort of angelic experiences. Here's this miracle that's being put together and kind of happening, and we show it in real time happening. And certainly at the end, everybody recognizes that and realizes that. But in the process, they didn't. And I love that idea as a storyteller to be able to really show the anatomy of a miracle. Like, how does it come together?
The anatomy of a miracle.
Wow.
That's a great phrase right there, man. So I hear the cynics screaming already right now that, oh, well, the guy's a stake president now. And so, of course, he's embellished the story over years because, all of Mormonism is a fraud anyway. You got to perpetuate the fraud. No, I'm just kidding. But, they're not that bad. But they actually are.
They actually are.
Yeah, they actually are.
Who's the stake president? Who? Oh, the kid who should be dead. The kid who long ago should have been dead and abandoned in that mine, lost forever, a little skeleton.
Yeah.
In that he should be a little skeleton in that mine, and he's not, because it's a flippin' miracle.
Well, we do want to talk about the anatomy of a miracle. And gosh, if I would have known that phrase was going to be flying in the middle of this live stream, I would have titled the live stream "The Anatomy of Miracles," because you really just like the Catholic Church has a kind of an interesting criteria for somebody to be declared a saint. They have to have had those, 3 miracles, and they have to be verified. And there's entire movies and television shows based off of people figuring out if this saint actually did a miracle or something like that. Like, was there anything or any instance or any happening where you just said, okay, that could not have been anything but divine inspiration?
Well, 100%. And I think we show that in the movie, and it's only reflected on what people told us. So my job as a filmmaker or as a writer was never to create or invent a miracle. If somebody's saying, hey, this happened, and I'm going, well, don't you think that's a miracle? Then that's manipulative, and that's not the type of movie I wanted to make. It was up to the character or the individual that said, look, here's what happened. I can't explain it, but it happened to me. And now you go, okay, that's something that's fascinating. I want to dig in. I'm not asking to explain anything, but I'm asking to represent how that felt of, I can't explain that. I mean, the very fact that he was found by these individuals each one of them claim, hey, we should not have found him. There's a character in the movie, and a real life character, Ray Guyman, who's played by Jason Wade. And Ray Guyman has hearing loss in his one of his ears, his left ear. Oh. We portray that in the movie. Ray Guyman says that, hey, when he was in the mine at the time, his hearing was restored for 5 minutes, and he was the one that heard this voice cry out saying, help me. Whoa. And so he calls that a miracle. Gary Christensen, when he picks up Joshua Dennis, he looks around. Gary Christensen is another rescuer, played by Ben Lomu, who's just this incredible, like gentle, incredible actor. Looks around, and there are ribbons where the searchers had searched 8 feet away from Joshua Dennis, 8 feet away from this boy. So for 5 days, there's searchers circling this kid. They don't find him. He doesn't hear them. He's calling out. They can't hear him. And yet, when the time is right for him to be found, he's found. This is their account. And so, I mean, and it goes on and on and on. John Skinner, who's hearing these promptings or feeling this guidance, but it's still kind of unable to discern it. It's very relatable. You go, oh, I don't know, maybe that's a prompting. Maybe I should follow that. In a moment of feeling maybe discouraged, seeking, wondering if these are angelic promptings or what, finds this little angel statue in the floor right outside the mine, and it's just for him, that is this miracle that's going. I don't know how long that's been there or when that happened. We represent it in the film, and it goes on and on and on. Every individual has these little light points, these little miracles. We call them stars, and my goal is to connect the dots and see the formation of these stars.
Wow.
Dude.
Wow. The moment when his hearing is restored was a great moment. That was
the money shot right there. That rear slow pan inwards, the push in, not slow pan, sorry, pan sideways, but the push in on his ear and he turns to the side. That ironically also is the same ear shot when you see the monster in A Quiet Place. So, he's easily qualified to do good Mormon cinema or horror films. I'm not sure if they're that much different. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but the sequel, they said the sequel, they're going to put one of those monsters in the mine, and the kid is running from.
Yeah, and half the rescuers will get there just disemboweled.
Right.
That's why he can't yell out for them.
What do they call them? The yellow shirt? No, the red shirts. The red shirts running. I'll save them, and they all get eaten by the monster.
Yeah,
that's right.
See, now we're talking like that.
Yeah, now we're talking
like that bonehead at Deseret Book that decided to release Trek, that Mormon movie Trek, on the same weekend as A Quiet Place. The only PG-13 horror movie that Mormon families could all go to on a Friday night. Now, so that $60 million masterpiece gets released alongside Trek. No wonder that thing got Donkey Kong stomped in the box office. These people are knuckleheads. So anyway,
it's tough. We feel for them. We
feel for
them. Now to catch up on super chats. We have a super chat from brace yourself. Fidget the Crazy. Fidget the Crazy's in the chat.
What up?
Gives a super chat, says, I don't know if this was mentioned before, but I was at an early screening of the movie last Thursday at Institute. That's cool. Hey. And the actor and the real Joshua were there and took questions after the movie. That's so cool. What a cool experience. Also, Jed Ivy super chats and says, you guys all rock. Big shout out to Garett. You'll not meet a more genuine filmmaker in the LDS film industry. Congrats on the film's success, amigo. Yeah, so this is doing pretty good. It's been out for a week. You're getting it into more theaters, right?
Yep. We came out last Thursday night was our opening night. I guess Friday was our official opening day. We'll be in Utah for another week, and then it's our distributor keeps calling every day saying, hey, we booked another 20 screens. Hey, and the next day, hey, we got another 15 screens. So who knows? We're at 250 right now, and they think we'll be at about 400 by the time we open.
Wow.
And get this, we're opening on the 27th of September, which is the 35-year anniversary to the day that Joshua, survived.
Wow. And it's not all a serious movie. Also, we should say it's not just all grim or whatever. There's the when I saw it, I thought that's the kid from Studio C.
Yeah, Tanner Gilman.
Tanner Gilman.
So each act of the movie, we had to have a little bit of levity just to kind of let the tension out.
No, it was great.
Tanner Gilman just delivers.
No,
he's
yeah,
so fun.
Who's he? You're talking Chinese to me. Which one's Tanner Gilman?
He's
Is he the skinny guy that gets his face pounded in by the soccer ball 7 times? Wait, no, that's Matt Meese character.
That's
okay,
Matt
yeah.
Meese.
Is he
Tanner
the fat and ugly
is,
one? There's like 7 of those. No, I'm just kidding.
I just
made that up.
He plays one of the rescuers.
Yeah.
And just an incredible, talented actor. And he was on Studio C for a couple of seasons, and then moved on from that. And it was thrilling to just have him on set.
No, he does a great job bringing levity, and the pacing of the movie is something most people don't understand when they go see a movie. They'll say, "I didn't like that movie," and they won't know why. Often it's the pacing of the movie.
Okay.
Like Exhibit A, The Phantom Menace. Awful pacing in that movie.
Yeah.
But like in this, you're bringing in the levity with the characters, and at one point, I remember that Tanner Gilman has a very serious line in the movie, and it really drives it home pretty well. I thought the pacing was great. And the acting, you didn't get any cheesy actors. I don't know how you managed to do that, but my biggest critique, ready? Here you go. I know I'm sounding like it's all fun and games or whatever, but there's a giant gaping hole in your film.
All right, I'm ready.
Giant gaping hole in your film, and that is there was no Brad Whitbeck in this film.
There was.
I don't know what year
Brad
you think
Whitbeck.
it is. This is 2024. Brad Whitbeck. There's no Brad Whitbeck in the film.
Yeah,
what's going on?
Where was
Jimmy
Brad Whitbeck?
Stewart of our
He's
century.
a household name.
Household name.
Watch, dude.
So-
Garrett's
Sorry.
like literally just like.
I'm sorry.
Who is that?
I'm scanning my brain like.
Oh, dude, we just
don't do
outed
this.
Brad. Oh no, is he
Brad,
I
B-list,
love
not
Brad.
A-list?
I love Brad, and I think he was doing Escape from Germany at the time.
Okay.
Is that fair? Did I pull that?
That's
the
true.
name?
No,
That's the same guy?
you.
All right.
You broke up with him as well as you broke up with those 7 people who you said their story wasn't
Their
good
movies
enough.
were terrible.
Their movies were terrible, and that it's just dinner time stories.
It's
So
a
you
skill
just
of a producer. Is
You know
like
what?
letting people down easy.
Brad, you know what? I'm going to cast Brad as the lead in my movie, and it's going to be better than yours. And then we're going to come out and we're going to TP your house afterwards with specialized toilet paper that says Brad Whitbeck was here because we
right.
cast him, you know, and that
I
will
would
be our
love
revenge.
To work with Brad.
Yeah.
I would love to work with Brad.
Okay, so
That's
Garrett,
funny.
so tell us, let's get down to some real talk here. Okay, when you're kind of our generation, did you watch movies for guys who like movies? Do you remember this? Was it TBS? You did movies for guys who like movies. Did you ever watch this, Garrett?
I think I'm familiar with it. I'm familiar with it. I could never afford anything as fancy as TBS. But I'm familiar
yes.
with,
Well, it's pretty fancy. It's pretty, yeah. But give us your influence. What are your film influences? And we can sit back and judge if we agree or not.
Yeah, I mean, all of the usuals, all of the go-tos. You know, everything from Lord of the Rings and Star Wars. Back to the Future was we probably wore out the tape on Back to the Future.
Okay.
I mean, I love Peter Weir stuff like Dead Poets Society and Truman Show, and I love Robert Zemeckis, everything Castaway and Contact. Certainly, I don't know. Those are classics. Those are things that come to mind. Did I mention Master and Commander? Those are kind of more serious stuff. I mean, I dig into the whole Happy Gilmore and
Master and Commander, excellent. That was a bullseye. With
See,
that.
I was
Master
raised
Commander.
on
Underrated.
rated R VHSs after my dad went to sleep and just watching those. So here I am thinking Predator, Judge Dredd, Saving Private
Were those
Ryan.
on TBS?
No.
I mentioned, was that on Guys That Like Movies? We Like Movies.
No,
Dude,
no.
guys, movies for okay. Somebody in the chat, help me out here. Movies for guys who like movies was a segment. Was it TNT or I think it was TNT? I can't remember, but it was like movies for guys who like movies, and they would play Die Hard like 3 times a week, and it was the greatest segment for movies for guys who like movies, and it was the most apropos name. Also, somebody in the chat. Tell them I'm not crazy. Okay, somebody must have watched this.
Yeah,
Excellent movies.
So
back
speaking
in the
of the
day,
chat, catch us up on some of these super chats, and then we're just gonna talk some Mormon cinema, man, or not.
And we
sorry.
got to make sure everybody's got to make sure they like the stream,
Yep.
because later we're going to talk some Mormon cinema with a actual LDS filmmaker,
Yeah.
and we are going to talk a little bit about the upcoming holiday because there is a huge holiday coming up this Saturday. And if you are not ready for it, then this is your last chance here. So Super Chat, Fidget the Crazy.
What?
She says, speaking of the monster in the mine, I think she says the monster is a werewolf, and then Joseph comes and kills it.
Oh, Joseph Smith killed all the werewolves. That's a story.
Werewolf hunter.
That's
Joseph
a story.
comes in and kills. This is a movie right here. This is not a dinner.
It's actually
story.
a young adult series.
Yeah, that's better than a family reunion story. Yeah, that needs to be a movie. That goes in the, hey, let's figure out how to make this. Do you have any money?
It's actually a young adult series of books that I am writing. It looks like it's going to be me and Dave Butler doing this. And it's really, the premise is awesome, my man. Do you know when the last verified werewolf sighting was in North America, bro?
Yesterday.
No, 1820. 1820, the year of the first vision.
Really?
No, it was, I take it back. Not 1820. 1834, the year the priesthood was restored. So Kwaku had come up with a theory that the more priesthood is on the earth, the less cryptids. The more cryptids, the more apostasy. That it's actually a correlated graph here. And so Joseph Smith, I based upon, a kind of like inspired by that premise, I developed a story similar to Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer and Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, that Joseph Smith, he had the first vision and the priesthood was restored to rid the North American continent of its werewolves and cryptids, principal among them, leader of them being none other than Mormon doctrine's unique cryptid. Who? Cain. Bigfoot. So they get rid of Chappie in Lake Champlain. They get rid of the Chupacabra down with the Mormon battalion in Mexico. They end up going after the Mothmen. They end up going after the werewolves. They get them all, but they got one leader, Cain. So Joseph Smith killed all the werewolves. And then, he's got to settle the score with Cain towards the end. And it's actually
this sounds amazing, Garrett. If I were a filmmaker, I'd be all over this.
Yeah.
Is that
all over this? I'm budgeting it out right now in my head.
Yeah. Is that dinner plate? Is that dinner plate, bro? Or did that make
No, you got to bring that. You got to bring that to the Pitch Fest.
Budgeting it out right now.
It's going down. It's going down.
Storyboarding it right now.
The storyboard is just a bunch of fur. Just a bunch of fur and blood for like 17 scenes.
We need lots of squibs.
With a lot of it came to passes, as like the machetes just like fly. So
some Mormon Tabernacle Choir music, slow-mo, like the Patriot, the blood and the hatchet.
Bro, I am going to AI.
Writes itself.
I am going to AI Mormon Tabernacle Choir, so it seems like they are singing the background music of the slaughter scene with Joseph Smith as he kills all the werewolves. It's going to be like in V for Vendetta, where he gets after all of the fingermen, and he finally, in V for Vendetta, he kills all the bad guys, and the knives are flying. Like the squibs are exploding every like 2 seconds. Like it's going to be like Quentin Tarantino in the end scene of Kill Bill 2, where you can't even walk on set without slipping on the fake blood. It's going to be so awesome. So I'm sure Ryan Little is really excited to be the DP of this.
Yeah, I bet Ryan Little will shoot that thing so well.
All right, we have more super chats here. Stephen Diamond says, join the Ward Radio Discord writers group. We have over 40 members and would like more. Also, Jonah is wrong about the Phantom Menace. Not true. Dislike. We're going to block Stephen Diamond. FOG Defense says, they're coming fast.
Yeah.
Ready to go. FOG Defense says, we would like to welcome Pastor Jeff from Hello Saints to the live stream.
Whoa.
Pastor Jeff.
Okay.
Pastor Jeff, what a great guy.
Oh, okay. Hey, chill out. We don't want his head to get big. His hair is big enough. We don't need his head to get big, okay? No, we're just kidding. We love you, Pastor Jeff. Keep talking.
I love you, Pastor Jeff.
Also, Mary Lou Howarth, who is just, she's crushing all the KPIs for Ward Radio Worship Missionaries, has gifted 10 Ward Radio memberships to Travis Delaney, Charles Neal, Michael Kunknell, a.k.a. NJ, Debbie, Travis Christensen, El Jefe, Gary Schaugard, Didge, and Benjamin Smith. All those who would like to put 10 W's in the chat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 for our Ward Radio newest members. Please do so. All those opposed, we don't really care.
Hey, we got to get
really glad to
Pastor
have him.
Jeff. If he's in the chat, bro, Pastor Jeff, let's reconnect. We've both been super busy. We were going to do some fun stuff here, but then we both just got kind of slammed and it slipped through the cracks. But I got some really funny sketch ideas that I want to do with that guy when he comes down here. See if I can't get like him and Kurt Frankham down or something. It's going to be a wild ride. This is a different.
Buckle up.
This is
Jeff.
California Mormonism, bro. This is
now, Pastor Jeff. He says, Garett, you're awesome, my friend. So proud of you, friend. Everyone needs to go see this movie. It's powerful. That's quite the endorsement from our friend Pastor Jeff. Look, you know what? You know what else? I should have said this. Nowhere in the movie does it say Jesus. Nowhere in the movie does it say our denomination or anything like that. It's about faith, angels. It's about good people. It's about, staying in tune with the Spirit. Anybody from any faith can love this movie. You can bring anyone to love this movie. It's not preachy, but it's profound. It's kind of sneakily preachy. It's all the good without being, cheesy. So, anyways, I noted that. I thought they never said, Jesus. Oh, Jesus is going to save. They never did that.
Well, actually, they did, but let's define the they. This I thought was very interesting. If you watch the end credits, they play the original footage. They play the original footage of the real people that actually rescued young Joshua. And those dudes were straight up in testimony meeting, man.
No, it's true.
They were like, boom, I think the Lord guided us. Boom, this is a function of prayer. Boom. I was like, based. Absolutely based. I would say, I want to know who those guys are. They get a War in Heaven veteran hat. If you can find, were you able to find the actual people that found Joshua and talk with them as well, Garett?
Oh, they're in the movie. Yeah. You got to watch the movie and you can see their cameos where, did I lose you?
No, you didn't lose me. I'm
Really?
looking this up. Where do we miss this,
No way.
bro?
So they're, I hate giving it away. I mean, obviously Josh lives, but the day that we filmed the rescue scene,
Okay.
we have the Dennis family. So Joel Bishop, who's this incredible actor, he's giving this kind of monologue saying, "Hey, today we're gonna search. We need a miracle, right? Today we're gonna find this kid, right?" And we pan the crowd. There's about 20 people standing there. That's the Dennis family. That's the mom and the sisters and everybody that went through this experience 35 years ago.
Really?
And even one of the old ladies, that are a very old lady, they're named, and a very old, her name's Gloria, and I didn't know who she was, and they came up and she said, "I was here 35 years ago, looking for Joshua." And so she was there too, which is just incredible.
Wow.
And then cut to, in the afternoon, we're filming the end of the movie. And Ray, the real Ray, and Gary, who carried Josh out 35 years ago, along with John Skinner, are cameos in the movie. They are there with water bottles recreating what they went through.
No kidding.
And that's what's so cool is like,
wow.
They just showed up as a search and rescue crew, and yet 35 years later, and Josh Dennis has shown me pictures of, hey, here we are on the 1-year anniversary. Here we are on the 20 or the 30-year anniversary and the 33-year anniversary, where we met up at the mine and kind of relived this experience.
Wow.
So
impact.
Cool.
It's super cool. The clothing, like the coat that our actor, our young actor, which you guys haven't said anything about yet, so I'm a little nervous. Our young actor wears is the coat that Josh was wearing in the mine.
Get out of town. Oh. Well, Well, I will say, actually, per your recommendation, we have not given all the shout outs yet. And one of them definitely does go to the young actor that played the role of Joshua. And what's funny is actually my first accolade for him wasn't actually from the movie. Here's my little list of the things that I thought were good and bad that I wrote down. And
do we have to burn that book after reading?
No, the bad list is like 3 pages. The good, there's 2 or 3 notes here though. So no, I'm just kidding, dude. I'm totally just kidding. But
I can take it.
The first thing that I wrote was phenomenal cinematography. I just thought it was spectacular. Second thing was super cute intro. I don't know if it was just the unique MP4 file for promo that I got, or if this is the version that people will be seeing in theaters. But you have a really, really adorable intro with
That's
the kid that plays Joshua, where you say like, hey, we're putting a QR code up on the screen. He's like, well, they're supposed to silence their phone, so maybe we should put it at the end of the movie. And dude, that was a funny sketch. It was super cute. The kid crushed it. And the hilarious part was you tried to do a total dad joke at the end, and he sat there looking at you side-eye, super uncomfortable, not sure if he meant to laugh. And like, it was the funniest freaking thing I've ever seen in my life out of the mouth of babes. I absolutely loved it. The movie was worth it just for that opening sketch, dude.
Just for that I'm glad you got to see it. That is the theatrical cut, and he's so fun. The kid who plays Josh is Michael Bradford, and I can drop a secret for you guys. He's my son. And
get out of town!
Wait, what?
So fun to work with him.
No kidding. Is he really?
Yeah. So,
oh my gosh!
Cool story.
I have in my notes that. Because kid actors, man.
Oh, it's a tough one.
Kid actors, man. That is the Achilles heel. That is the hardest thing. Kid actors can destroy.
It's make or break. If they're good, you're the rock star director. If they're bad, oof. It's like a dog that won't go where he's supposed to go on set. You know what I'm saying? It's just like frustrating.
That's your kid?
Wow,
dude.
Get out of town.
So Michael knew I was doing this movie, and we started auditioning people, and he was super excited about the movie. And I said, hey, you wanted to do this? Do you want to audition? And he said, yes, but I don't want to audition. I don't want to get a part because I'm the director's kid. Like, I want to earn my part. So he changes his name. He says, Dad, you can. I'll use a fake name. I'll use Michael Brad. He gave me a choice. He was going to use Michael Bradford or Tom Holland. So we chose Michael Bradford, and he sent a tape to our casting director. He just recorded it and sent it in, and our casting director didn't know. He went through all the tapes. He sent me like the top 5 kids, and Michael was one of them. And then he said, our casting director said, okay, we got to do an in-person audition with all these kids. Right? Oh, okay. So we come in, we go to the office, and Michael and all the other kids come up, and they're, incredibly talented kids. And our casting director and my producing partner, they kept going, yeah, that Michael, he's good. And then I had to confess, I'm like, oh, I've known him for a while. He's my son. And they said,
no kidding.
Yeah. They said, if you don't cast him, you're making the wrong movie. Like this is that movie.
Wow, no way.
So fun.
Dude.
That's very fun. I have in my notes that the other, who is the bad brother?
Kyle.
That actually he was pretty solid too.
Kyle was great.
He was not hokey. He was
what
not
is he your nephew now too? Is he like your second cousin?
Right.
What? No, I don't know.
like from which wife? You a polygamist? There's like actors falling out of the trees everywhere.
Kyle was there's a movie called Cokeville Miracle from TC.
Yeah.
He's a little kid in that movie. That's Kyle. He's all grown up now. He's 18, and he came on set, and he was just this. We had written it totally differently. He was kind of this like nerdling type kid, but Kyle had this really funny vibe to him, just kind of this frumpy, I don't care teenage, like an accurate teenager. Like, oh man, you're it. You're our guy.
Dude, your wife's hot, bro. I can tell she's hot because your son, man, he's a handsome devil.
Kiddo.
He's a handsome devil. You kind of look like the sanitation worker that just took the manhole off of the sewer in the hole in front of my house. So something genetically happened here. Something genetically happened to make him look so good,
there
man.
He is.
What up, bro?
Hang on, I'm going to let you hear him, or I'm going to let him talk real quick.
Sorry, we were just dissing on your dad. Don't take it seriously. That's funny, man. That's funny.
Hey, great job, dude. I'm not sure what your actual name is. Maybe we don't want to say his actual name, but really good work, dude. You were great. You were really good.
Yeah. Did he hear that?
Right there.
Oh, he didn't even hear his accolades. He didn't hear his first good review on WardRadio.
They were just telling you how great it is. This is Michael. This is Michael Bradford, live and in person.
Yo, what's up?
Good job, dude. Good job. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good, man. Hey, we got to workshop your stage name. Michael Bradford. You know,
No.
that's.
What would you recommend? What's one you'd recommend?
I don't know, something super edgy because he's got a good part in his hair. You know, we don't want to go overt and say like Michael Danger. You know what I'm saying?
What about like
that's like a comic book.
by Morty Ancomer?
Yeah, no, I don't know.
Like-
We could do something like I'm thinking like no Dangerfield that's taken by comedians, like something old school. Like we need to go like matinee idol style. You know, like there's Lucky Smith. That's a good name. That's memorable.
Lucky,
you know,
Lucky Blue Smith.
Let's
Lucky Blue Smith.
tap the chat. Let's tap the chat. Hey guys, super
Yes.
chat us your favorite stage name. We're gonna decide it right here. He's committed to using the stage name that
too
gets
late.
the most likes here
His
on
name's
the
already
stream.
in the credits. It's too late.
No, but dude, like
well,
Francis Ford
Going
Coppola's
forward.
kids changed their names like 5 times until they landed on Nicolas Cage.
Silverblade.
You know,
Silverblade.
Silverblade.
That stuff going on now.
yeah.
love
yeah, we're gonna get you a name right here. Don't you even worry about it. We got it all handled.
All right, by the end of the night.
So,
By the end of the night.
Dog, what's it like? Do people recognize you at school now, man? That have seen the movie or what?
Well, I'm actually homeschooled, so yeah, people know me pretty good.
So yes, they do.
Sorry, kind of burned you there, Carden.
That's funny, man. You're homeschooled.
No, we walked
huh?
into the theater. We walked into the theater last night or 2 nights ago, and there was a young women's activity that was coming out of the movie.
Dog.
Yeah, kids got it made.
So, did you like it? Do you want to do more films, man, or were you just scoring a solid
Yeah.
for your dad? What's going on?
Yeah, no, I loved it. I would do it again any day.
Okay.
So your dad told us that he actually locked you in a mine for 5 days to do like a method acting thing
Yeah,
to get
method
you in the
acting.
zone. Is that right? How was
So
that?
there were 11 shooting days. I only got
18 shooting days, and you were
8.
in there.
Yeah, I was in there 11 days, and 5 of those days he just left me there.
Just left you in there. Do you want us to call Child Protective Services for you? We could do that
Blink
right here
lights if
live.
you're-
Yeah.
If you need
I'll
us to
turn
do
away.
that live.
Just blink if you need help,
Yeah.
bro. Just
If
blink.
you're under duress.
So, hey, dude, as a child actor, what was the hardest part? What was the easiest part, man? What was the funnest part? What was the hardest part?
Well, the easiest part was having Crafty. That was great.
Craft services for the uninitiated. Crafty means food. He was saying he enjoyed the food. Okay, excellent. Hardest part. What's the hardest part? bro?
Well, beforehand, I took some acting classes from Elisa Anglesey, and she was just great. But she wanted me to drink pickle juice and lock myself in the basement for an hour or two to see what it was like in the dark. And pickle juice like dries out your mouth. So to feel what it would be like to be Josh,
Yes,
had me do those things.
that is
Wow.
epic. Okay, what was her name again?
Elisa Anglesey.
Okay, Elisa Anglesey. That's awesome. That's avant-garde. That's edgy. I don't think you went far enough. Next time, it needs to be a day with no lights, and it's locked from the outside, and the director does it. It's like in Fury, where the director had him like live inside of a tank for like a week, and they had to like
jeez.
poop in diapers and not take showers, so they know what it was really like, and they got all like super into it. That is so hardcore. That's like back when directors were directors, and you could abuse actors without all of these agents floating around.
That's right.
You know what I'm
There's no-
saying? Like, that's awesome. That's hilarious. Okay, so we went the hardest
Brutal.
part. You said the funnest part was eating. Gosh, man, what's the craziest thing that happened on set, bro?
Do you wonder if she's just punking him? If she's just like, drink pickle juice and
Did she charge you?
lock
Did she
herself in the
charge you?
basement? Like,
Did she sell you pickle juice?
that's right.
That's the
Yeah,
problem. Oh, Alyssa, she duped us.
Dude, that's great. So what's your next movie, man? Are you going to start writing your own stuff? Like,
I've taken my dad's spot, so
I'm out.
Right.
this
He's
is
old news. Child Protective Services is taking you away anyway.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, from what I understand, Butch Cassidy Butch Cassidy was a young blonde who started his career in crime at about 14. You look like you could play that. You know what I'm saying? We need to write a super violent Western where a young man starts murdering across the Wasatch Front. And
Can you play?
we'll
Can you
cast
play
him.
a werewolf?
You know, yeah, keep
there's where we're going, right? We got this blonde kid, blue eyes, almost 14 years old. There's a Joseph Smith story around here somewhere.
They're killing werewolves
Joseph
in the mine
Smith.
shaft.
They're creative. These guys are creative.
We've already got the mine shaft. Yeah, we got to reuse the set.
I mean, they speak truth.
This is awesome. Hey, so I got to know, where are all these props, bro? Like, you got a mine shaft. Please tell me you're going to be the cool house at the end of the cul-de-sac that has like the coolest haunted house because you've got all the leftover props. Like that would be so sick, man. You got it still, or did you like burn it like Cecil B. DeMille did in all of his films?
Like Cortez.
No, we filmed in our basement. No, I'm just kidding.
We filmed most of the mine stuff didn't last. I mean, it barely lasted the shoot. There are instances where we had to kind of
piece it together in between shots.
Right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
So, but he does have the wardrobe. The wardrobe he could certainly. That's our challenge. We want to see Josh Dennis's show up at the door as trick or treaters. That's our goal.
Oh
Yeah.
man,
That's wicked.
be amazing. Best haunted house ever. Best trunk or treat ever.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. Hey, catch us up on some super chats really fast, man. See if we got any crazy super chats, man.
Catch you up on super chats. Well, I got to filter through. There's an awful lot of super chats that we're dismissing because Mr. Michael Bradford here is not 16 years old and he cannot take you to homecoming. I just want to say that to everybody, all the young women out there. I'm sorry, he cannot take you to homecoming. Please stop super chatting us about it. Okay.
Yeah, dude. Sorry.
Timothy Berman says, I have a novel I've been rewriting and it's called Morning Ellen. Would love to have it made into an LDS movie. Timothy, are there werewolves in this movie? Because then we'll talk. Timothy Berman also comes up with a great name here. He says Brad the Mick for your stage name. Pretty good, Brad the Mick. All right. I like Mahat Rai Moriankamer, though.
Yeah, that's good.
FOG Defense says Skyring, or pronounced Skyring Ray Morrison. Skyring Ray Morrison. Okay.
Skyring Ray.
Yeah. Okay.
That's too unisex for me. That's too unisex for me. That could be like a dragon slayer chick name or something.
But it's spelled Skaeering.
Yeah.
That's some kind of weird spelling, right? Everybody will mispronounce it for your entire life. Then FOG Defense says, have him play a young Orrin Porter Rockwell. Yeah, what role does Orrin Porter Rockwell have in slaying all the cryptids?
Dude.
Oh, man.
I figure he should have a pretty big role in that.
We actually
there's an Orrin story that I want to tell, but yeah, it's not.
Well, you got to talk to me, bro, because we already got the script for the origin story of Jonathan Browning, who's the guy that invented the Browning Manufacturing Company that was a contemporary of Orrin Porter Rockwell. He's in the story, and it's about the Missouri mob persecuting Mormons throughout Missouri. And at that time, Jonathan Browning was a pacifist who had given up gunsmithing in order to kind of like, that was his sacrifice to God when he got baptized. And consistent with the apocryphal stories that you hear about him, he remained a pacifist until he saw the bloodshed of the Hans Mill massacre, at which point he said, never again will my people be defenseless, and set up he set up that rifle manufacturing plant in Nauvoo that the church kind of doesn't talk about too much, but is off the beaten path on the tour. And that's where he was pumping out 2 rifles a day by the time it was at its peak, where he invented rifling. He also invented the slide breech. Oh no, his son invented the slide breech. He invented magazines. He would pre-pack black powder magazines into 6-shot little, it's called the harmonica gun. And no joke, he is considered a revolutionary firearms manufacturer. And his son made it to the Salt Lake Valley, where he formed Browning Arms in Ogden, Utah. And at one point, about 92% of the patents used in all of the guns on both sides of World War II were from Jonathan Browning, including the Colt 1911, the Browning High Power, the M5 the M50, the 50 cal that you see in like Rambo, the anti-aircraft guns that they mounted on all of the Navy ships that had that big barrel. And so anyway, he would stamp "Holiness to the Lord, our preservation" on the guns by the end. And he outfitted the Nauvoo Legion so to the teeth that the U.S. government didn't want to mess with him because they had so many guns. You can look up right now. I see you looking up on front of your screen. Look up Jonathan Browning's harmonica gun. And it's
so all I hear are squibs, opportunities for fake blood and squibs. That's all I'm hearing.
Yeah,
not only is that amazing what you just told, but the fact that you just rattled that off like with no, I mean, you're not reading a Wikipedia or anything.
No, because I'm writing the
This is Carden. This is Carden.
This is you.
This is, by the way, this is me with chemo brain afterwards. I could have given you like
who I was dealing with. This is impressive. Thank you.
So Garett, tell us what the next movie is, man. Come on. I mean, I know this one is still like.
Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? November 1st, across the country, we are releasing a movie called The Carpenter. Now, we need a whole nother episode for this. The Carpenter is MMA movie.
Yes.
Set in the time of Christ. So it's unlike anything you will ever see in.
Please tell me you make Jesus Christ a bare knuckle boxer, or at least Andrew the Zealot.
I saw an ad for this.
You can watch the trailer right now online. It's called The Carpenter.
Okay.
You should pull it up. I mean,
I'm pulling it up right now. I'm pulling it up.
It's MMA in the time of Christ. See, this is now we're getting.
Fighting. I mean, it's MMA style of fighting. So the story is about this young fighter that is kind of this MMA, like pre-gladiator type stuff. And he finds his way to Nazareth and becomes an apprentice to this mysterious carpenter. So it's set in 29 AD. It's set pre-ministry of Christ. And when, Jesus was a carpenter in Nazareth. And we thought, what would happen if he had an apprentice? And so he's this kid is like a fighter by day, or I guess a fighter by night, and this carpenter's apprentice by day. And it is a movie that is perfect for anybody that's ever been to like an NFL game and held up the John 3:16 sign, right? It goes, "I scored a touchdown and I want to thank my Lord and Savior."
Okay.
Like, that's what this movie is. And we have like Drowning Pool in the soundtrack and Def Leppard.
Yeah.
Motley Crue.
Yes.
You have Motley Crue? What?
Yes. Yeah. Yep. So
you are Jack Mormon. I love this.
No,
this is awesome.
Far from it.
Dude, this movie will slay, man, because this will appeal to all Christians. This is perfect for the chosen audience. Like,
look at
we
this.
just signed. I don't know if I guess we're live, so I can't tell you about the UFC partnership that we've signed with, but look for that.
Dude.
Wow.
Dude,
so
look
cool.
At this.
Good for you.
I'm turning up the noise for a second. I can only play it for a couple seconds so we don't get copyright struck, but look at this.
You really enjoy it.
Look at this right here.
Fight. It's training, walking out of each fight.
Looks good.
Dude, look at this. The Prince of Peace. Yeah. Dude, this is epic. Oh, I am digging. So it's already done. It's in the can. It's going to get released in November?
It's nationwide in November. We filmed this movie in South Africa back before I filmed Faith of Angels. And so they finally decided to release it. Not finally, but it's finally ready for release.
You're a busy man.
Wait, so did you direct this? Did you write it? What'd you do?
You wrote. It says writer and director.
Get out of town! Wow, brother, this looks like The Chosen mixed with the movie poster of the Scorpion King.
It's Chosen meets Rocky is what it is.
Dude, this is awesome.
Are there any squibs?
No, there is blood. But it was not squibby type
Garett.
blood.
But we'll see, this is so cool because one of my frustrations with Christian cinema is not just that, there's Christian cringe and it's way too didactic and so on and so forth, but there's not enough violence. Really, there needs to be more violence. I'm just kidding, but I'm not.
Yeah.
So anyway,
squibs. There needs to be more squibs.
We do. Here's the origin real quick because we do need. I mean, you guys should really do a podcast on this or an episode.
We will.
The guy, Cameron Krebs, is the guy who came up with the idea, and he reached out. He said, "You want to know why your movies don't get seen by audiences?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure. Why don't you tell me if you figure it out? Tell me." He goes, "You make movies about missionaries, great. You make movies about pioneers. You're a faith-based filmmaker, missionaries, pioneers, and church history stuff. When are you going to make a movie about Jesus?" He goes, "Mormon filmmakers don't make movies about Jesus."
Boom
And
shakalaka.
as defensive as I wanted to be, I'm like, dang it, that's like a really good point.
Yeah.
And then he pitched this crazy idea, like, we're gonna make an MMA fight movie. We don't know the story, we don't know anything. I just want to know it's set in Nazareth and it's about fighters. And we came up with this idea.
So
Yeah,
how are
it's
you going to
amazing.
write your son into the script and do a couple of
Yeah.
reshoots? You know what I'm saying? So we've got, what was his name? Silver Blade? Is that
Sky?
Sky?
Rizzo.
Dude, wow. This is cool, man. All right, well, we only got 10 minutes left, guys. We only got 10 minutes left here.
All right,
You know, super chat away if you have any last questions. For
Super chat.
Yeah, for
Super chat. So Sam submitted a super chat asking if the movie will be released outside of the United States. Where do people go to see this thing? People want to see it.
So right now, September 27th, we're going to be in theaters across the country. We'll be in some in Canada. I'm assuming outside the United States means elsewhere.
Oh.
We met with a foreign distributor this morning. So the deal hasn't been struck yet, but there's plans. We're trying to find a way to get it out there. If
Ooh,
not,
man.
we'll be on all the streaming stuff in the coming year. So patience.
Wow. Cool. All right. Timothy Berman says that his novel that he's writing there does not have any werewolves. It's about a man dealing with the death of his beloved wife. It's a supernatural romance. How can you be supernatural and not have werewolves, Tim?
Jeez,
We should
yeah.
have werewolves.
I mean,
And
that's
then
a
FOG
basic
Defense-
question. No.
FOG Defense says John Moses Browning, God's Gunsmith. That sounds like an amazing movie that I'm really excited for now.
Dude, the guy invented the slide breach. You know how, like, when you see guys in the movies pick up the gun and go like that? He invented that. He invented the Colt 1911, like the most ubiquitous special forces handgun like
That's
ever
crazy.
used.
Very fun.
Oh, dude, it is absolutely nuts. And his dad was a savage. He literally stamped on the gun, "Holiness to the Lord dash our preservation." Like that is the Mandalorian of the 19th century. That is like violence and guns are my religion of
So-
1845. You know what I'm saying?
Carden, why can't Browning be in the Joseph Smith Werewolves movie as like that's
he
the
is.
moment when he invents all the guns, he creates the arsenal that Joseph
No,
and Oren Portuaco
no. This
used.
is the script. Brad's gonna be Jonathan Browning. So, dude, so the origin story of this is awesome. I got a buddy who has been on this show. Hollywood's been kind of shut down for about 5 years now, between COVID, the writers' strikes, the different strikes, and also just the sluggish economy that's been difficult to get investment in movies. Hollywood has been putting the fun in dysfunctional for 5 years now. Okay, and last I checked, we're operating at about 25% employment capacity, meaning of all of the professionals that are out there, they're all underemployed. Would you say that's a fair assessment, Garrett?
Yeah, not just Hollywood, out here as well. I'm in Utah, and
Yeah. So usually like Utah's a good place to get overflow. It's a flyover state. It's inconsequential and it's full of people that don't matter. But they're useful sometimes. No, I'm totally just kidding. I was seeing how far I could go before people just like absolutely cringe.
Whoa!
You know, like I was
Lost.
seeing if like this like the chat would light up, right?
Yeah, we just lost.
But the
subscribers.
no, it's actually the Utah film scene has very much surprised me, the amount of talent there is, because there's so many people who are uber talented who have subordinated the pursuit of their passion for a while in order to raise kids. I actually think that there's a lot of untapped resources in the state of Utah and a lot of untapped talent, because there's so many women who can sing so beautifully, but you know, they're kind of busy raising their kids. But gosh, you need a voiceover actress that can knock it out of the park. You know what I'm saying? For 50 cents on the dollar of what the voiceover actors want here in Hollywood, go to Utah. There's some phenomenal cinematographers there. here. There's some phenomenal directors. You can actually pull a lot of talent out of Utah. The only problem is it's not centralized. The good thing about Hollywood and still being here in Los Angeles is if something big happens and you got a meeting, well, it's only 20 minutes away. We are all centralized kind of by the de facto history of Hollywood being in Los Angeles. That cultural centralization like still exists, right? So anyway, what were you asking me, Jonah, before I started going down that rabbit hole? Did I totally forget?
What did I ask you?
Oh, geez.
What did I ask you?
Oh, wait, no, I remember. Hollywood was 25% underemployed. So what was the question? What question was I answering? Chemo brain's kicking in right now, bro. Oh, this is bad, dude.
I know, but Garett's doing this in the wild. He's doing this in the Mountain West. He's doing this in Utah. So
yeah, I can't remember where I was going with this, man.
I'm amazed what you managed to do with. I mean, it looks good. It's a legit. You don't have to hold your nose to go see. You don't have to be like, oh, that was pretty good. Like, you don't have to do that.
Yeah, no.
It's a solid movie.
Yeah,
yeah, and we had good talent. We had John Michael Finley. He's from I Can Only Imagine. Is the lead. Cameron Arnett is right now in The Forge, which is a number one faith-based movie in the country. I mean, these guys came to play. They're professional actors, and they came and hung out with Kirby and Jason Wade and Ben Lomu and Michael Bradford. So
boy, let me tell you though, Kirby Hayborn's acting was
incredible, right? We said, who's the happiest guy we know? Who's the most smiley actor we could ever find? And let's make him cry.
Yeah. Hey, so do you think Mormon cinema is coming out of the closet and into the light, bro? Like, is it finally actually? Do you think Mormon cinema now is finally coming out of the closet and into the light? It had a rough start there for a while. There were some ups and downs. It ebbs and flows.
Yeah. It ebbs and flows. We're all guilty of ebbs and flows. But yeah, I'll tell you, with TC's last one, Escape from Germany, just hit a home run with that one, and I think there's momentum. I'm hopeful for it.
Okay, cool, dude. This is awesome, man. Okay, do we have any last super chats in the last 2 minutes here, Jonah?
We do have just a couple super chats. Fidget the Crazy puts in a shameless plug for her comic about the Stripling Warriors. Fidget the Crazy is an artist. She's a graphic artist.
Where's this comic? I haven't seen this comic. I've seen concept art that she's drawn, but there's a finished comic, like a 25-page comic?
Well, it's in the it's in the Discord. I don't know. Maybe you haven't seen it. Maybe it's in the Discord.
Dude, I am a fool. I am an absolute fool.
Dude. She says it's got some dark scenes. It's got lots of blood. She's a horror artist, and she's looking for excuses to add scary imagery and body horror. All right. Wow. Dude. Okay. Okay. That's totally what Garett is into for his filmmaking.
Yeah. So which sub channel is this in? Where's the cool Fidget the Crazy artwork channel?
There's an artwork channel. There's a members artwork channel.
Are you familiar with Discord, Garett? Are you a Discord guy?
I know I've dabbled, but I think it's I've only used it for like AI stuff, right?
Oh yes, it was the host for a long time of Midjourney, the AI art, the AI art generator before it had its own website. Yes, but we also have a very robust Discord. There's about we passed 3,000 users already, right, Jonah?
It's a lot. I think it's 2,000. She hasn't finished it yet though. Fidget hasn't finished it.
Oh, okay.
But she's pecking away at it, and all of her stuff is pretty amazing. She'll make a reaction to a stream in a minute, and it'll be this amazing. I don't understand visual art. I don't know how people do visual art. It's like voodoo to me, and she's got it. She's got it really well.
Okay, that's cool.
Another super chat from FOG Defense. The anti-werewolf guns are quenched on consecrated oil. The bullets are blessed with sacramental water. Yeah. I love this.
It's gonna be like Constantine. It's going to be like Constantine straight up mixed with like straight up, not Reservoir Dogs. What's the one where there was the two angelic assassins and it was Norman Reedus, the guy that played in The Walking Dead. Come on. There were the two hitmen for the Catholic Church. This is an indie movie that came out in the 90s. Reservoir Dogs was early Quentin Tarantino. This was... Right. I can't remember the other ones.
But okay. Constantine, dude, there you go. Let's do a Constantine, LDS Constantine version. But okay, before we end our stream, happy Moroni Day to everybody out there. Yes. Saturday is Moroni Day. We know that you're all excited to celebrate. You've bought your decorations. Okay. In the Discord, we have a few pictures of some of the celebrations that have already kicked off. for Moroni Day.
Who
So
kicked
card
those
reveal
off?
general discard.
Because I could have sworn there was an echo throughout the internet. Like, true or not true, Ward Radio birthed Moroni Day. True or not true, Jonah?
Yes, there was a little
Yeah.
So we birthed Moroni Day. It was before last Moroni Day. We were talking about the origins of Halloween.
Okay.
And the Feast of the Tabernacles.
Yes.
And that Moroni visited on the Feast of the Tabernacles. But so I thought we had kind of birthed that. But our friends over at Scripture Central, they picked up on it. We're so glad
they
that
picked
they
up
could
on
pick
it,
up
or
on
they
our-
stole the idea and ripped it off and then sent Jack Welch to go do an entire talk at BYU Hawaii about it as though it fell out of the ether. We should have filed a copyright. That's what we should have done.
See, but wait a minute.
No, we're
wait,
just
let's
kidding,
look at
Jack. No, dude, just like don't have your interns write us angry emails. It was
Let's
a
look at
joke.
the
We're
timing,
happy
though.
to spread the love, and we know that you have all the money to do it. So no, I just
4 days ago, Scripture Central picked up on our Moroni. That's great. We only ask that you are sure to cite it as being a trademark Ward Radio Moroni Day.
yes.
But
So
in the
here's
Discord,
Moroni Day, a piñata.
oh, wonderful. These children celebrating Moroni Day as just another excuse to eat candy. Also, there's the Macy's Day Parade. They're featuring a horizontal Moroni Day balloon.
Oh.
Giant. It's 90 feet long. That's going to be in the Macy's Day Parade. And then also in Scandinavia, they celebrate their Moroni Day with a Moroni pole. It's different than the rest of the world.
So poor Garett, he can't see these pictures because they're going on my screen and they're not in the Zoom because you just did them on the fly. Are you familiar with Moroni Day, Garett? Are you familiar
No,
with
but
Moroni Day?
I like the idea of a piñata. Is that just like a gunny sack with 56 pounds of candy?
50.
You know?
Let's see if I can even put them in the message so you can see some of these. But yeah, the celebrations for Moroni Day are kicking off. It is really taking flight. We just ask that all of the floats in the parades,
Yeah.
all of the party hats and the dishware, the paper dishware with Moroni Day, that all of those properly trademark Ward Radio. We just ask that those are all properly trademarked. We don't want to bring suit, but our giant legal team is champing at the bit. So just be careful out there, guys. It is Ward Radio copyright.
Is it champin' and not chompin'? It's champin'.
It is
at the bit?
actually champing at the bit. It's an A. Yeah. Who knew? Who knew?
Okay.
Weird.
That's from Moroni times. That's from horse times.
Yeah. Do tapers champ at the bit?
They do.
Do
They do.
tapers
That's
champ at
actually
the bit?
how- yeah.
Comes chomp.
Kurlon's
Okay,
champ
cool.
at the
Yeah,
bit.
Kurlon's chomp, dude. That's awesome. Okay, and anyway, before we go, dude, I would ask you what's next, but you already said freaking Jesus MMA is next. That's the single best elevator pitch I ever heard. If I get stuck in the Paramount elevator and a big executive comes in, I won't even bother trying to introduce myself and try and give him the one-liner or the sentence. I'm just going to lean over and I'm just going to say, Jesus MMA. And then he will connect the dots and just say, who are you? Do you have the rights? And will you
How much
sign the
do you
paper
need?
right now? And how much do you need? Because you just said Jesus MMA in my ears right now. And I think I nearly blew a gasket. So anyway, we apologize to the entire state of Utah. We apologize to Scripture Central. We apologize to all the extended family of Garett Batty, who will watch this afterwards, and the disrespect that we showed him and his film. We apologize to the Mormon Historical Society, whose feet we stepped on this whole entire time. We probably offended your son at some point, and we also
the Taper Equestrian Society. We're very
the
sorry.
Taper Equestrian Society. We apologize to all of the following individuals. Garett, what do you have to say before we go, man?
This was a joy. Thanks for having me. Can't wait to come back.
All right, awesome. Well, you got Jesus MMA, bro. We're getting you back like hardcore. I wish I would have.
Do people usually release 2 full-length feature films in like as many months?
No,
Is this a
but
common thing?
They're much smarter than I. Just to clarify, Jesus never goes to the match, right?
No,
He's the Carpenter. I don't want to spoil anything. I don't want to get anybody too worried.
He doesn't go Super Saiyan and Hadouken. Some guys.
Hadouken! Oh my gosh, that was a
You
solid
gotta watch the
reference.
trailer.
That was a solid
It's a good
reference.
one.
All right, guys. So anyway, before you guys get out of here, make sure you guys like the stream for us, please. Also, if you haven't had a chance yet, share it with your friends. Helps us out in the algorithms. If you want to support the channel, make sure you guys buy a shirt. We have an entire merch store at wardradio.com. Also, speaking of merch, they're loud and they're proud and they are freaking awesome. We've got for sale the Ward Radio War in Heaven veteran hats. You can become a first-class body recipient just by getting one of these War in Heaven veteran hats. We've now got them in flex fit as well as traditional snapback and gray. We've got color gray ones. You know, we're going to have to send you one of these War in Heaven veteran hats there, my man, Garett. We're going to have to send this to you.
If we have any
Love that.
left.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, no, we've got a couple left. I got another second order in, so
good.
I've got about 20% stock left. So, yes, in fact, guys, should I put a coupon code out in celebration of, you know what? We should do that. I'm going to give a 10% off, 10% off coupons. I'm creating them right now. Okay. I'm giving 10% off coupons for the War in Heaven veteran hats. Right now, what should we call the coupon code, Jonah? Should it just be not Fight Like Angels? That's what Joseph Smith said. Faith Like Angels 10? Is that what?
Faith of Angels.
Faith of Angels 10. Okay, cool. So here we go. I'm going to discounts. I'm going to coupons, and I am creating a new coupon right here.
And while you're doing that, Carden, I just Googled Faith of Angels. This is playing in my hometown.
Where's your hometown?
This is playing in Battleground Cinema in Clark County, Washington.
Yeah.
It's playing at the Cinemark it's playing in Sandy, Oregon.
Get your
It's playing
tickets now.
right in my hometown.
Get your tickets now.
This is so cool,
on
dude.
Sale right now. Yeah, this is catching on.
Check you out, man. This is so cool.
All
Good
right.
for you.
Awesome. So it looks like the first 5 people that write in Faith of Angels 10 will get a 10% discount. And that's actually to all products.
How do I do this?
Okay. The first order or the first product of all products in the merch store. Okay. You're going to get 10% off applied to each eligible item in the order. Okay, cool. So the first 5 will get 10% off, and the only limit is 1 use per customer. So that is created. It is now Faith of Angels 10. If you guys want to...
Faith of Werewolves 10.
Yeah, Faith of Werewolves 10. Awesome.
That's what he says.
All right, cool. So again, his name is Garett Batty. All right. The movie is titled Faith of Angels. You guys can see the movie poster on your screen right now. He's a lot of fun. The movie is great. It completely passes the worth it test, just like Just like Siskel and Ebert had the 2 thumbs up, Rotten Tomatoes has the fresh or the Rotten Tomatoes moniker. I believe when it comes to cinema regarding the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, we should actually give it the worth it. That's going to be the Ward Radio moniker. 100% worth the ticket, and it's a fun night out. So make sure you guys go see it. As always, it has been real, and it has been fun, and it has been real fun. For this and more, please make sure you guys check us out at WardRadio.com.
I built a rocket in my basement. I'm gonna fly it to the moon. This supersonic is amazing. You're gonna feel my sonic boom. I'm flying higher and I'm never coming down. Look at me now.